Are we live? Can you hear me? Can you see me? Hi, folks. Hopefully you can hear me okay. I'm trying a new microphone. So that is new and exciting. It's yelling at me about ads. Stop telling me to put in ads. Okay, I'm seeing familiar folks. Hi, everybody. Okay, so haven't done a stream in a while, so I figured now would be a good time. Now would also be a great time to turn my phone to silent, because that's a nice thing to do when folks are trying to talk to me. So let's do not disturb for, I don't know, 8 hours? It's probably enough. Okay. Let's see. I see lots of people. Hello. Hello. Okay. Everybody's talking. I thought real hard, just side note, I thought real hard about doing like a StreamYard, I think it's StreamYard thing, where you can like right here have the comment that somebody's commenting at me. For this one, I think I might try another stream sometime soon and try that, because I think it'd be kind of nice to be able to call out individual comments, and I just kind of struggle with that with just vanilla OBS. I could overlay the chat as a whole, but I like calling out comments, especially if somebody has a question. So I think that would be really great. Okay, alive Veronica. I am alive. That's true. I have been busy, and I've been busy with stuff I can't talk to you about yet. But it's very exciting. I will say one thing I can talk about is that my band is almost ready to put out our first EP. And I've been spending a lot of time the last couple of weeks working on that. If you don't know, I'm in a band with Sean from Action Retro and Taylor and Amy from the Taylor and Amy Show. And we are called the Stop Bits. And we make nerdy novelty rock about vintage computers and a little bit of Linux, and it's all kinds of fun stuff. So that is in the works. Hopefully soon we have something out, because it's very near completion. So that's thrilling. It'll be on Bandcamp, and I don't know if you can see it in the background. If I move the right way, there's right next to my ring light that's sitting down and the synth, there's a duper here. That's a duper to make CDs. So I'm excited about that. Let's see. Okay. So EP, everybody talking, go for StreamYard. Yeah, I might go for StreamYard. We'll see. Okay. So I think there's no further ado. So I am going to go. People are saying they want an actual physical record in the chat. I maybe at some point, see, the thing I keep thinking of is that, when it comes to vinyl, I don't know if an EP is a good use of vinyl, if that makes sense. Like I almost would, because you have to charge a certain amount in order for it to be worthwhile. Just the economics of it don't always work out for like a 5-song release to be on vinyl, because you'd have to charge a lot of money for it. I could imagine a 10-song release being a little bit more suitable to that. No, it's not a vinyl LP. Sorry, I'm drinking. I don't have, I need to like figure out a mute button or something. Okay, so here we go. Just some background on this particular installation today. I am running this in a virtual machine, which is not how I typically do it, and I'm just kind of seeing how the feeling works with it. One of the nice things about doing this in a virtual machine is that I'm hitting the wrong button. I should be able to back up my configuration easier so that I can do additional live streams and like troubleshoot and have fun and be silly with it. So like if I wanted to do the same installation but then try a different desktop environment, it's easier on a virtual machine. Oh my goodness. Cordova Jose with a €2 super chat. Thanks for the QEMU KVM video. You're very welcome. I'm using that right now. I will say one thing I can tell you for certain with with how I've got this set up is that I'm currently running Debian 13 on the host machine right now. This is my editing rig, and I'm currently running Debian Trixie on it. So I've been beta-ing Trixie for a while. It's now live. It's now the current stable. So I've got a little bit of experience with it here, and so I felt a little bit more comfortable trying this one on a virtual machine here. Danny asks, "Hi, Veronica. Do you know why sometimes when I restore from suspend, I get pink static on my MAD card?" Are we talking about like an audio card? If you're getting pink noise from suspend, if it's external, you might be experiencing power going into the speakers. If it's internal, I mean, it could be the same problem, I suppose, but that would be my guess. I'm guessing when it restores, it briefly sends power through and the speakers are picking it up. I know on my current setup here for recording, my studio monitors do give me a quick little burst of like a plosive pop. And so that could be something about it. AMD, not MAD. Okay, I'm sorry. I thought MAD was like some kind of external audio thing. AMD pink static in the audio. I mean, I would try it on a different card to see if maybe you got something goofy going on with the card. That is what I would do. Okay, so let's get to installing. I'm going to use the graphical install because I know a lot of people default to that. I typically actually use the other install method, but I'm trying to make this look the way it would for other people. And let's see, I'm gonna change something around on my host machine because I want to be able to see the chat without looking way over to the other side. So Poisonada says, "Why Debian? LOL." Because I don't like updating my computer every day, if that makes sense. I think Debian is. I'm gonna be big for this because this is kind of an important point. Whatever distro you like is the distro you should use. Period. Don't care about the vibe and the arguments about like you should use a more fast distro versus you should use a slower distro. I don't know what you want. I don't know what you like. I know for me personally, this is an appliance machine. This computer that I'm running, it runs virtual machines for testing stuff, and it runs my editing rig. I can game on it. Gaming on it is fine because, it's Debian's not that bad. And, a lot of this stuff happens with Proton. And if you use Steam, it kind of just takes care of it. I adore slow on appliance machines like this. Now, my laptop is often running something a little faster. I've typically been tracking SID on that for a bit now. But, I've used Arch on it. I've used Tumbleweed on it. I've talked about that in other videos. Let's see. Yep, Debian. I always use rolling release. Lily says, I always use rolling releases because my ADD hates waiting for new features. Yeah, that's fair. My ADHD struggles with new features because I start focusing on them. Oh, what can I use? What can I do? What can I do? What can I do? And it actually makes me less productive. Okay, so we're back to this. I'm going to hit continue because we're going to do English. I'm in the United States. I'm going to use American English. It's running. The difference between, Neil says, the difference between fast and slow isn't really noticeable in daily usage. Yeah, I mean, I would say it depends on what you're doing with daily usage, but my feeling on it has to do with stability and breakage, where I'd rather get it configured, and then when I do an update, it's very minor stuff that's getting updated, because if this thing breaks, if I spend 5 hours troubleshooting a weird dependency issue or something like that, that's 5 hours I'm not making videos. And so, like, as I'm trying to be more productive, I find stability is actually kind of a benefit. Last few weeks have been less stable, at least before the release, because I was tracking Trixie and, we were running into some issues. Let's see. Hostname, I'm going to call it Trixie-tastic. How's that sound? Domain name is none. I mean, I could do one, but this is a virtual machine. Okay, set up users and passwords. I've seen this trip people up before a lot. I feel like Debian should maybe explain this a little bit more, just because I think that this language here is a little less than clear to beginners. I, as a system administrator, I think it's fine. This entirely makes sense. But here's what happens. If you enter a password on this page, it's going to create a situation where you have a root user and a regular user, and you might prefer that. But if you're coming from your Linux Mints, your Ubuntus, your Fedoras, like some of the more popular beginner-friendly distros, if that makes sense, you aren't, and I'm getting distracted by chat, you aren't going to have as clean of a time having to switch to root to do tasks. You're not used to that. But more importantly, I don't think the GUIs are designed around that. So if you're using GNOME or KDE Plasma, you might run into some headaches with the pop-ups asking for elevated privileges. So my advice to beginners is to leave this blank and go through the traditional sudo route. Okay, I saw comments. Danny asks, you aren't covering the new Calamares installer? No, this is the one you get when you click the big download button on Debian. This is the net install. I did that on purpose because I want to cover the most typical use here. I might cover the other installer in a future video, maybe. So, we'll see. Yeah, Shadow says Debian is itself a beginner-friendly distro. I mean, I agree with caveats. So I'm going to skip this, like I said, because I want to have a sudo user. I think what would make it more beginner-friendly is a beginner-friendly explanation with installation stuff. And that's where, if we talk about the Calamares installer, I think that might be helpful. Full name for the new user, Veronica. I'm going to go VKC like I always do. And here's the password. Not using a good password. There's that. And I am in the Central Time Zone, my favorite time zone because it's the one I live in. And it should detect virtual disks. Bayflower says, last time I installed Debian, I remember having to look up how to make apt try to install packages from the internet instead of a CD drive. Yeah, it's that's better now. I haven't had that issue in a while, but yeah, that used to be a thing. If you haven't tried Debian in like 2 or 3 cycles, it's worth a try again. They've really, ever since they did the free, non-free merging and making things more available, Debian has become really easy from a desktop perspective. Okay, we're going to do, the virtual one. And see, this whole thing here, I think this all trips people up. And I think they need to do more recommended for new users throughout this entire process, because I think that your average person who's new to Linux doesn't really understand this stuff very well. And I think that other installers do a better job of that. How did you install packages from the internet? So I think, I mean, I don't want to speak for Theyflower over there, but the what I know happened in my experience with Debian installations is that it would default to grabbing packages from the installation media, and it needed to be told deprioritize that or remove that and grab packages from the internet first. And that was kind of a way that Debian's installation setup apped. That hasn't been an issue for me for a while. So we're going to do all files in one partition because it's a virtual machine. I will say if you're a distro hopper, I tend to do this, but the separate home partition, but that's just me. Okay, and that's all fine. I also, if this weren't a virtual machine, I'd consider using Btrfs for the device, just because there's some cool features with backups and snapshots. But this is a virtual machine. I'm going to handle all that on the host. So we're going to hit continue, and we will write the changes. And now it's installing. Look at that. Now, I gave this virtual machine 4 cores and 8 gig of RAM. So I mean, they're pretty nice cores. You know, you can watch my How I Make Videos video to see what AMD processor this is, because I don't remember. Well, I do this. Should I leave this up? Oh, I know what I needed to do. I need to ask folks, Addie asks, is it possible to do Btrfs in an encrypted LVM in the Deb installer? I've noticed the default's ext4. It is possible. They make it less than fantastic. That's one of those things where I think the installer could be a little bit more transparent about how it's doing it. Or at the very least, the installer could offer some more defaults other than the traditional way. But I also think that at the same time, you're going to confuse new people who might not care about that. Okay, scanning your installation media finds this. We do not need to scan additional installation media. So I'm going to say no. We're going to say United States, because that's where I'm at. We're going to say debian.org. Because that's the default. This is where the proxy stuff would go in if I was using a proxy, which I'm not. Okay. So I need to ask, we're going to do a poll. How do I do a poll? Okay, here we go. What desktop should we install? And let's do GNOME, KDE Plasma, and Mate. I'm trying to think of all the options they have here because I'm going to stick with the default. Cinnamon. Oh, geez, that's it? That's all they're offering? Oh, boy. Okay. Can I not do like 8 options? Okay. Let's do that. Okay. So there's a poll. Go vote in the poll about what desktop. Okay. So the system may anonymously supply the distribution developers with statistics. This is the popularity contest. You're going to send out anonymous details about what you're installing. A lot of you will click no. I'm going to click yes because I don't care about this particular system. I'm not planning on doing anything in here I'm terribly concerned about statistics for, and Debian already knows who I am. Yeah, okay, people are i3, and so that's the thing. Those aren't offered by the desktop environment thing. Oh, I forgot XFCE. Shoot. See, that's the problem. They only give you 4 options here in the poll. Okay. How's about this? We got the poll here, but you can see there's other options. Who wants to see XFCE? I can see Mate and Cinnamon are very low, so I'm going to end the poll. Yep. KDE won before the poll started. Yep, we're going to now ranked choice vote this thing. Let's do, it's not really ranked choice voting. Let's do which desktop round 2. And we're going to say GNOME, XFCE, and KDE Plasma. And just for good measure, I'm going to add LXQT. I don't know if is LXDE still a thing? If you're mad at me about LXDE, you know what? I know what I'll do. LXDE/LXQT. See, so those of you saying like i3 or Sway or something like that, I'm trying to keep it limited to the options that come in by default. I've done videos about, or at least live streams about like messing with Sway and stuff in here. So that's definitely something we can look at some point in the future. Okay, yeah, KDE is the popular kit. I will say the host is running KDE Plasma right now. Yeah, why install desktop on install? Can you do it later? Alexander says. That is, here, I'm gonna be big for a second while we let the poll run. Yes, you can install it later. And I would argue that your average user isn't going to. So that's the reason why I'm choosing these defaults that Debian's installer allows. That's kind of the reason I chose this, just because I want to keep it kind of close to the default. Let's see. I could do 2 rounds with eliminate. I don't think I need to do an elimination because KDE Plasma is doing really well here. Okay, you know what? Fine. We'll do round 3, and it's going to be GNOME versus XFCE against Plasma. So there we go. We're ending the poll. Boom. Okay. Let's do poll. I love all these polls. All right. Which desktop against Plasma for the championship? Did I spell it right? Championship. Yep. Oh, okay. There we go. GNOME XFCE. Okay. So for the championship bracket, which one should I have face off against KDE Plasma? Should it be GNOME? Ooh, okay. The votes are coming in. The votes are 88 votes, 104. Whoa, okay. I think that's pretty decisive. 60-40 against I'm XFCE. People like their XFCE. Okay. We have about 300 viewers and only about 168, 9. Okay. XFCE looks like it's pretty much leading. Okay. I should play Bop It while we do a round of this. Here. Okay. I got my
Beat Bop, pass it. Beat Bop, one-on-one. Beat Bop, solo.
All right. We're going to do 1 round. XFCE is winning. XFCE might be it. Yeah, it's pretty decisive, I think. Okay, there's the round. All right. That's my 1 Bop It for this. Let's see. So we're going to have the final countdown. Let's see. XFCE final championship. Which desktop? And we're going to do XFCE versus KDE Plasma. Here we go. All right. This is like binding here. This is how Linux works, is we decide right here, right now, which desktop is the best one ever. No, that's not what's happening at all. Okay. They're very even here. I know a lot of folks are going to be mad because, like, Emily says, I don't know how she plays Bop It. My brain is not wired that way. That's how my brain is wired. That's 100% it. Let's see. Let's see. That I promise that was the end of the bop it. So these are very evenly matched. Okay, I see 170 votes, 175. It's 52-48. All right, folks. We got to figure it out. All right. Yeah, it's 50-50. Actually kind of curious how XFCE has changed since 2007. Yeah, that's a really good point. That, a lot of people didn't use, like you hear about KDE Plasma, and for good reason. They're doing really good work. But so is XFCE, and I think XFCE is really underrated thing to use. I very much like it. Okay, we are at 205 votes, and it's like neck and neck. XFCE versus KDE. Ooh, nope, it's 50-50. Okay, I'm gonna give. Let's see. Yep, people are changing their votes now. Oh no. Yeah, XFCE almost supports Wayland. This is true. Yeah, too bad you couldn't include Budgie. I limited it to what we had as an option. Install both. I want to just pick one. We could here's the thing. I'm willing to do another stream to install XFCE if KDE Plasma wins, but I'm willing to do it the other way around too. It's just, at the end of the day, I think we know KDE Plasma really well. So like that kind of weighs into it a little bit for me. This is Michael says, we all know exactly what KDE looks like. That's exactly it. Bye, Addie. So if it's hard to decide, go for GNOME. No, GNOME didn't win. Okay. I'm calling it. We're going with XFCE. I'm gonna see how many people lose. Because these were like, okay, now the actual final total says KDE Plasma won by a hair. My vote is worth 50. Yeah, I'm going with XFCE. So we're gonna uncheck GNOME. GNOME was checked. I unchecked it, and we're gonna go with XFCE because it's different than what you typically see, and in my mind, different wins. Plus, as somebody said, we know what KDE Plasma looks like. So let's see. It was like even. People don't get mad. Like, that was like about even. I chose the one I think will be more interesting for the stream. Here's the thing. I'm 100%, like, I've done streams about KDE Plasma. You'll see it some other time. Like, you're gonna see it. Let's see. Okay, so this is installing. I already said I wasn't gonna play Bop It. Normally this is where the Bop It comes in. Alrighty, so stock XFCE only looks bland. You can make it look really nice and it's easier to do. You can make KDE Plasma look really nice too, pretty easily, but no. MP Stein asks, does this VM have a GPU? This one does not, mainly because I don't have enough slots in the desktop for it because I have capture cards. I'm actually tempted to move a capture card out and stick, because I'm kind of re-rigging how I do video capture, and I might have another machine for it soon. So I might do, I might set it up with a pass-through GPU at some point in the future here. Oh geez, yeah. So people y'all get too amped up about like desktops. It's like they're all great. So Adrian asks, VM or bare metal? This is a VM, but I'm running bare metal on the actual hardware too, so I've got some experience with it. Let's see. Lighter is better for desktop environment. Somebody, MP Stein says, it's debate. It depends on what you want. I tend to like a something a little bit more flexible. But what I don't love doing is manually configuring things like network hardware on laptops. You know, like there are times where I want something a little bit more full fat, and like laptops especially come up because you're using more Bluetooth stuff, you're using more Wi-Fi. It's less fixed, if that makes sense. Oh, jeez. Fairlife chocolate milk, strawberry milk. Guy Incognito asks, Fairlife chocolate milk, strawberry milk, or plain milk? 100% Fairlife chocolate milk. I'm a soy milk person. So like I do like the silk stuff because like it tastes good, but if I'm doing cow's milk, it's 100%. That Fairlife chocolate's really good. Fernando asks, do I have Proxmox installed on my setup? No, I don't use Proxmox. This is all QEMU, KVM. It's what's baked into the system. Proxmox forks that and does some stuff on top of it. So, oh, Corgan says, keep up the good work with a super chat. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. I'm going to hit the little heart, which you can do apparently. Okay, so now we have to install the Grub bootloader. And so this is where if you're having dual boot issues, this is what's going to trip you up. So what it's basically asking is, do you want to install Grub on your primary drive? And if you're trying to dual boot with Windows, you might run into some issues here. It's one of the reasons I don't recommend dual booting very much anymore, because Windows has a history of messing with the boot stuff. So if I ever figure out a good, solid, reliable way to dual boot, I'd probably do a video on it. But that is hard to find. I'm going to do Grub. We're going to do that. Fernando says, OMG, Grub. What's wrong with Grub? You know, it works. I don't need things to be fancy. I need things to work. Plus, you can customize Grub all day long. That's fine. Neil says refined. I have that on one of my servers, actually. Installation's complete, so it's time to boot. All right, here we go. We're booting it up. So we are how long into this? 30 minutes in, and I spent a significant amount of that time doing a cheesy poll. So here, we'll make this big. All right. Here we go. I love the comments. Okay, so here's XFCE by the default. Michael says, I'm scared. You shouldn't be scared. Everything's going to be okay, Michael. Everything's going to be just fine. Let's see. There we go. Okay, so a couple of things. I'm going to set the display resolution right away because this is a little bit pixely and it need not be. Oh, you know what? I did the desktop background. I need the display settings. So that is in system. Isn't it in system? Settings. There we go. Okay. And display. Yep, we're at 12. So virtual machines will often do this. I'm going to up it to 1920 by 1080 to get a little bit better resolution. Use the screen real estate a little bit better. Easy peasy. It says Red Hat Inc. here because this is QEMU KVM, and the virtual graphic driver is, I'm sure, provided by Red Hat. So thanks for that. Now, so this is default XFCE on Debian. People, okay, so Lily says, let's put it on 5K and no DPI scaling whatsoever. I don't know if, I might crash the stream if I do that. Oh, geez. Buns of Wisdom ask, what's my stance on the fork of Xorg X Libre? Why? You don't want to know my stance on any of this. I don't care about what display manager you like. don't care. I care who wants to work on it. And mainly because I want somebody to want to work on it. That's the only thing I care about at this point. It doesn't sound like the people who do Ex Libre would think very kindly of me, so I'm probably not going to cover it beyond this particular conversation. That was me sipping tea. No, if you know, like I use a combination of Wayland and X.org, depending on what particular thing I'm doing. Last few weeks, I've been doing, if you missed the beginning of the stream, I've been doing music and recording. And music and recording is something that a lot of plugins, I should be big. I'm gonna make myself big. So music and recording, a lot of plugins use, they use X.org for like, okay, so if you're unfamiliar with how recording software works, you typically, you speak into or you sing into the microphone or you play your guitar, whatever instrument you're playing. And it goes into an interface where it gets translated into data. And then from there, you run processing on that sound to typically bring up the level to recording and to tame the high parts, to like when I go, pa, there's a peak in the waveform, and then the is smaller. And usually for musical stuff, we want to shrink that down, raise this up. There's a lot of effects processing that happens. And those are typically either open source or paid proprietary applications that run in the background. And I have a whole bunch of Linux ones that I really like, some of them open source, some of them not. You can also run Windows ones using a program called YaBridge, which is awesome. And it works out really well for the most part. It's like running any Windows program on Linux. It doesn't work so well sometimes, so I tend to prefer Linux native. Most of that stuff wants to run on X. It hasn't been moved to Wayland. And, if you imagine somebody who developed a plugin 10 years ago, it might still work. You've paid for it. They don't want to upgrade it to Wayland. I don't want to pay for a new one just to have Wayland. So in those cases, I tend to jump into X.org. I've noticed recently that X-Wayland has gotten pretty good at rendering that stuff. So I think, I might in the future not do that. I might just stick with Wayland because it's what KDE Plasma or GNOME or, I use Sway sometimes too. It's what they like. Let's see. Am I using any effects live? Just a compressor, just to bring the volume level up. And I think there might be a gate in OBS. Let's see. VLC number 1. Sure, but I can't record an album on VLC. Let's see. Shadow Glider says, honestly, I've never had any issues with Wine or anything of the sort. I don't have issues with Wine. I typically, when I have an issue, it has to do with the registration stuff. So like I have this like iLock key for some older plugins that I purchased a long time ago. And that's like a registration key. It contains the license. And some of those have to phone home. And it's that phoning home bit that often, if anything breaks, it's that. Yeah, iLock. The horror. I don't use it very often anymore. I've found some really good plugins that are Linux native and that I really like. Yeah, Wayland even handles ham radio apps now, and they are old school apps. Yeah, X-Wayland has come so far that I'm actually really hard pressed to think of anything that I absolutely would want X.org for at this point in 2025. I want stuff to work. That's all I care. And I want people to want to work on the thing. And that's the part that matters most to me. So yeah, there's that. Yeah, personally, Wine works pretty well until you use it to flash BIOS firmware because HP doesn't give the ROM. Yeah, sometimes you got to bust into Windows for something really specific for that. Yeah, fairly recent, picked up Ableton and some good paid VST. Yeah, I don't think Ableton works. Okay, so if you like Ableton, let me back up. Let's talk about music for a second. I was an Ableton user on Mac OS some years ago. 15 years ago at this point. I loved it. I used Ableton all the time. It was really great. I got used to that live, being able to cue things up, and, like, it made live performance really fun. And if you want that sort of tool chain in a Linux supported program, I really like Bitwig Studio. Not sponsored. I'm just a paying customer like anybody else. I love Bitwig Studio. I've used it for a good chunk of the channel music that you've heard, because I might want to loop a feature, like the drum part and the bass part and the guitar part or the synth part. I want to loop it until I'm done talking. So I'll typically edit the video down, and then I'll use Bitwig while the audio from the video is playing, and I will sync up the music really precisely using Bitwig. And so that emulates that live performance piece. And Bitwig does a fantastic job of it and is 100% supported on Debian-based systems. You can buy a Deb package right now and install it, and it's great. So yeah, absolutely love it. I think it's pretty good. Audio Power User says Reaper is the best commercial DAW in my opinion for Linux. I'm hard pressed to argue with that, other than maybe Harrison Mixbus. It depends on what you're doing. If you're doing a lot of like VST stuff, probably Reaper. I agree there. M-Vendor asks, what about the latency for audio production in Linux? It's almost non-existent. I can play this live and I don't experience anything. And I'm not even using like a low latency or real-time kernel. I don't even know if those are really a thing anymore, because you can flag low latency in Grub settings, but I just don't. We have enough power now where I'm barely feeling it. And yeah, lately I've actually been just running the VSTs and doing everything in real time, and it's fine. Let's see. With non-native Linux plugins. About the audio latency, I haven't noticed any latency there. Yeah, Audio Power User says Mixbus used to be good on Linux, but SSL bought Mixbus and isn't supporting its plugins. I could go off about SSL. Not a big fan. What I would say is I found, I think it's ACMT, does a pretty good, they have a really nice Linux supported set of plugins that does your compressors and your limiters and your gates and your EQs and all that, which I think approximates some of that SSL stuff. And it does real well. I'm a big fan of it. Okay, so I think that's probably all the audio questions I wanted to answer today. That's pretty fun. Should I do at some point like making music on Linux stream? Is that something folks want to actually like see? If that's something you want to see, leave me a comment, because I think that could be a ton of fun. Oh yeah, people are saying yes, but I mean, let's see if that's the thing. Okay, so first things first, let's see what we're running. I think it probably updated as we went. Yep, okay, so yep, it's Trixie, I can see that. So it should all be up to date, so that's good. Okay, so what do we want to see now that we got this thing going here? What was I doing? About. Let's do the, okay, so here's the about XFCE. So we're running XFCE 4.20. We are on X11 here because the Wayland session isn't a thing yet. And this gives you some details. 7900X. That's what I'm running. So there's that. Kernel 6.12.41, which makes sense. Let's see. There's all the details there, which is nice and pretty. How easy is it to edit the dock? Trina, I don't know what you mean by how easy is it to edit the dock. What's the dock down here? Well, let's find out. I don't usually edit it, so I don't even know. All right, let's see. So okay, so here's what I did. I unchecked lock panel. So in panel, like I clicked somewhere in the middle of the panel here, probably get there off the edges. I unchecked this, and now I should be able to move the panel to other places. I don't like it. That's funny. Okay. So I can't make it go on the side yet, but let's see if I can figure that out. Panel preferences. All right. Yeah, oh, there we go. Okay. So when I go to panel preferences, I can see panel 1, which I'm sure is the top panel, and panel 2, which I'm sure is this panel. I'm going to make it a vertical panel, or we can make it a desk bar panel, which I don't know what that means. It's probably in the wrong place to be a desk bar. So vertical panel. So I like it here. That to me makes a lot more sense. A reason I like the panel on the side is that our screens are wider than they are tall, and I tend to want more space this way for reading because I tend to be multitasking this way, not this way. Like if you think about it, I don't often run... Oh boy. Okay. I don't... Why is Firefox? Okay, let me turn the I don't want Firefox news stories showing up because oh my god. Let's do I've been using LibreWolf for so long I forgot how bad this is. Let's do blank page. There we go. Okay. There, that's better. Now, I don't often use my computer in a way that needs this space here maximized, if that makes sense. Like this isn't a way I use my computer. But let's see, can I dock to the side? I don't know if it actually does that. Maybe it doesn't. I don't know. But this is a way I use my computer, which is multiple windows spread out this way and not this way, if that makes sense. Yeah, no window snapping. Boo. There might be window snapping. I might just not. It might be that the VM can't find the edge. You know, like if you think about it, the mouse is like emulating a touch screen here. So it might be that the window snapping isn't happy that way. I'm not a huge fan of window snapping to begin with. I tend to like one window, one screen if I can avoid it. Like with terminals, I tmux to get my tiling. If I start wanting window snapping, I just start wanting a tiling window manager. And one of the nice things with, like I know I've done this with Mate, you can actually run like i3 with Mate tools, and it feels like Mate, but you're running i3. Paolo says, if this was GNOME, I'd have suggested using Paper WM for horizontal window spreading. Yeah, that's one of the nice things about GNOME is you have a lot of those extensions that make things, I think, a lot more interesting. Okay, so Trina wanted to know how we can change the panel. Let's try changing the panel some more. I'm gonna make it. I want to move it down. Oh, not like that. Let's do. Unlock the panel. Let's move it back here. There we go. And now I want it to be like a desk bar. Nope, it made it like that. I don't know what a desk bar is. Somebody tell me what a desk bar is. Because I don't know what that means. So here's horizontal. And there's automatically increase the length. Can I just go like that? Okay. So now I made it look like that, which is kind of a Windowsy way to do it. I don't love that. So we'll do that. Oh, people. Yeah, tiling is like the next step past snapping. I really hope all the major desktops, KDE, GNOME, just add built-in tiling like what Cosmic is doing. You know, I think I agree with you. With some reservations. Like, I don't think it should be the default. Let me put it that way. I don't think that should be the default at all. But I do like it when it's there, and I tend to use it when it's there. Okay, so, and then it looks like you can make it like a background image or a solid color. So this is for Trina. I'm changing the panel colors. There, so I made a pink panel. I can make a red panel. I think it's kind of cool. It's very traditional. Which for some people, this is what you want. Let's see, none use system style. So I'll keep it to system style for now. But let's see. Raj says, well said. I don't understand why some users try to make Linux distro look like Windows. I mean, I get. I really do understand that sometimes we make things look like what you're familiar with. And I think that that's fair. I think that it's a good thing to do familiar options for people who need familiarity. Trying to skin it to be precisely like Windows, I think, is a little much, but it's also kind of fun. Let's see. Lily says, Windows 7 Xreo was peak design. I actually kind of love Xreo. One of these days, you know, I have a whole stack of boxed Linux things I need to go through. So I'm going to do video stuff. Oh, Ilias has a €2 super chat. Thank you. I missed the beginning. Did you mention the hardware? This is a virtual machine because I'm currently running Debian 13, Debian Trixie, on the host itself. So I didn't want to show the host because, like, I have personal files on here and stuff. So I try to do a machine that isn't my usual everyday machine. Today I did a virtual machine. I might do more virtual machine stuff in the future just because it's really easy to back it up. Let's see. I bet without much effort you could make XFCE look like Windows 95. Potentially. Hey, Ponaboy is here. Hi, Ponaboy. The Windows paradigm is too entrenched. It's a bridge to free and open source software use from Ponaboy. I think I agree with you. I think that people got, like, Windows 95 was really, it moved the needle forward in terms of usability. And obviously a lot of other desktops borrowed from it. But I think sometimes we get too wrapped up in it. And I think it's nice to have some alternatives. Like, one of the things I like about Mate is the Mate tweak tool. Like, Ubuntu Mate does this really well, where you can, with a couple of clicks, change it from a Windows paradigm to a Mac OS paradigm to a GNOME 2 paradigm to a GNOME 3 paradigm. I think that's really cool. Let's see. So what else should I do to this desktop? All right. So I definitely ruined this. I'm going to... Can I get rid of the panel? I want to add a new panel. Can I just make a new panel? Make new panel, please. Because I want to recreate the original panel. Panel. Panel preferences? There we go. Okay. Let's do 3. And let's make it... It's a blank panel. That's not helpful. What is a desk bar? What do they mean by desk bar? They should define what a desk bar is. Okay, this isn't helpful. They're gonna get rid of that. Yep, remove it. And we're just gonna move this close to the center. And I'm just going to lock it. And that's going to be our panel. Desk bar is the bottom bar. I don't see how. I mean, let's look at it. Okay, panel preferences. Add a new panel. See, it's there, and when I say desk bar, it goes like up and down. Like it's right here. I don't know if you can see that. That's our desk bar. And I don't know what that's supposed to mean. So yeah, everybody keeps making the joke about it's where you drink. I might need a desk bar to figure out whether I like the desk bar. Yeah, I'm gonna get rid of this. I don't know what this is all about. So maybe desk bar. Okay, now I'm adding a desk bar. I love it. Oh, okay. Add new items. All right. Nope, that's adding new items to this panel. We'll check that out in a minute. But panel preferences. Okay, first of all, I'm going to unlock this panel and move it out of the way. Now we're going to add a new panel for a desk bar. When I click on desk bar, there it is. Now I'm going to drag it down, and it still looks like that. If I make it, yeah. I don't know what a desk bar is. To me, this just looks like everything else. Yeah. I don't know what a desk bar is. If anybody knows what a desk bar is. Yeah, okay. Thank you. Dev Panda from the XFCE 4.10 tour. Desk bar mode. In the desk bar mode, the panel is aligned vertically, just like in the vertical mode, but the plugins are horizontal. Thank you, Dev Panda. That's very helpful. So that could be useful for people who are setting it up that way. Because that 100% makes sense to me now, and I'm going to remove it. We are going to go, we're going to keep it traditional. That's fine with me. Let's see. So, yep. All right. Scorpio Fern says, XFCE in the big 2025. Heartbroken. Why are you heartbroken about it? We're just trying stuff. We're just having fun. All right, let's add new items to this panel. Okay, so here are the default items. We're going to have a CPU graph. Let's add that. And we're like not even pushing the CPU. So let me open some folders. I need to have it do a thing without like overloading the stream. Yeah, there's nothing on this computer. Maybe I should open a drawing app? Where is it? Do they have a drawing app? They probably don't even have a drawing app. They have a screenshot app. There we go. Okay, let's capture the screen. There we are. Yeah, you can see it like a little bit in the bottom. It's not much. There we go. You know, I love how, oh yeah, YouTube video. That's a great idea. I love how folks are like either, I love XFCE or why did you do this, Veronica? Okay. Wonder what happens. Should I? All right. Oh no! Now you get to see an ad. Okay. All right, there's that. All right, I'm muting it for obvious purposes, but there we go. Okay, so there's our current stream. And I'm like, why was that me? I didn't click that. Okay, look at all this. All right, we got like a thing happening here. So there's that. That's all kinds of, I pointed the wrong way. All right, like that. There we go. Like, I'm like looking at myself like it's the Brady Bunch. That's so cheesy. Okay, so I muted it so it wouldn't get echoey. Okay, so you can see like the CPU chart there. It's not bad. There's not much here. Veronica lipstick merch. Yeah, that's what you want. This is all kinds of fun. All right, if I make it big, this is gonna get real weird real quick. All right, there's big. That's so cheesy. Okay, I gotta stop. All right, so yeah, that you can see when I made it full screen, it did pop up a little bit. So you can see, that's kind of nice. I like that CPU graph. All right, now let's do add new items. There's more. All right, we can add a clock. That's definitely a clock. All right, let's see what the properties look like. This is like the least amount of work. Like, I don't love distro review videos, because I basically think they're what I'm doing right now. And this is more fun to do with people than it is to do like as a video that you just have to sit and watch. And, you know, like I like this. Let's see. Veronica Lily says Veronica lipstick in C64 beige brown. Yeah, that's what we need. We definitely need that. ZX Spectrum colors. I need one of those new speckies. That's something I've had my eye on, but I think I missed the boat on actually ordering one. So I'll have to wait until next round, I think. Okay, so we can have week numbers or digital. Let's see, fuzzy. I love 1:05. I love a good fuzzy clock. I need to make this bigger. I wonder if I can scale this. Let's see how that looks. Let's do display. And we got scaling. Here's fuzzy scaling, which looks like crap. Perfect. Let's fuzzy scale it up to an integer. So not fuzzy. Also kind of looks like crap. But here, okay, we're really going to push it now. I'm going to go to 4K. And we're going to do 3 times scaling. Let's see how awful this looks. Oh, that looks terrible. That's perfect. Oh, I love it. All right. Nope. That was not happy with me. Okay. So it isn't a fan of that, and now everything is messed up. Okay. Let's all right. I think it's left control L unlocks me from the thing. I know what I gotta do. There we go. I gotta get my desktop back. All right, now. Oh, nope, I was unhappy too. Yeah, everything, there we go. Okay. Can we, I'm gonna shut this down. There's that. And now I'm going to reopen it, but not full screen. That way, oh yeah, you can see, here's my actual desktop. So there's what that looks like. All right, and here's the VM. Okay, so this is real messy. We'll check out the wallpapers in a second, because that's basically what a distro review is. Did I say that out loud? I might have said that out loud. Okay, I want to scale it up to this one. Let's do apply. There we go. Okay, keep. Now I have 2 mice. You see that? That's kind of weird. So we're going to up this to 3x, which is a very unique way to do it. Feeling all kinds of special here. Now, let's see if I make this big, how that looks. There we go. Okay. That's a little bit cleaner, and it's still, to my eyes, a bit on the fuzzy side, but yep, okay. So Yeah, looks almost not terrible. Okay. The reason I did it this way is mainly because I want to see how x.org was handling some goofy, scaly stuff. But one of the biggest reasons why I wanted to do it this way is to make the font size bigger. So let's move this back to center. It is struggling a little bit with my mouse. You can see I got like a dual mouse thing happening here, but that is almost certainly QEMU KVM. And if I passed it a separate mouse, that would go away. Okay, bye Emily, thanks for hanging out. Shadow Glider says you should run a Debian GNOME VM inside this VM. Let's just try it. I don't even know if this will work. This might be stupid. Let's see. Okay, so it's 1:05, which is kind of nice. That means we've been going for a little over an hour. Yeah, what is my monitor native resolution? The monitor this is on is actually 4K. It is being cut down for stream. What is the Matrix? You have to. No one can be told what the Matrix is. You have to experience it for yourself. All right. Let's. When I say it says show week numbers, but it's not actually showing the week numbers. But is that just in the overlay calendar? Yes, it is. Okay, there we go. So there's your week numbers. I like that. You should run a container inside. There you go. Yeah, Zoe says that explains the fuzziness on the 1080p. I think, so one of the things I wanted to try having the scaling being done in OBS because I want to see how many frames are being dropped. And so I'm kind of experimenting with it right now. So far it says I've dropped no frames. So hopefully that's real good. All right, now I had somebody ask for wallpaper. So those are the wallpapers, which isn't much. I know KDE Plasma shipped more wallpapers than this. So this is, I think, a decision based on whoever's doing XFCE for KDE anyway. Yeah, I can see desktop base vendor load. Yeah, that's all we get. Yeah, very small wallpaper selection. Kind of boring wallpaper selection, to be honest. Not that it matters much. You know, most people don't use stock wallpaper, but like, you know, it is what it is. Okay, so there's those. All right, what other very bland and boring thing should we do? Yeah, hit super space. All right. I hit super space. Super space. Doesn't seem to be doing anything. So, yeah, let's see. There must be more hiding somewhere. Yeah, that's called on the internet. Yeah, is there a desktop package for old wallpapers? That's a good question. I've lost my... There it is. Okay. Let's see. I mean, we got Breeze wallpaper. So, like, you can get wallpaper this way. GNOME. I suppose I could just scroll down to the end. RSTUVWX. Yep, that's the end. So the XFCE doesn't have a dedicated wallpaper thing. I'm hesitant to want to install Mate backgrounds might be good, but yeah, I'm sure we could install any one of these and just get more wallpapers. I don't want to install one for Plasma because it might pull in all of Plasma, which might be a bit much. Michael says, I think we need another vote. But okay, here's the thing. Here's what I'm going to say. You know, XFCE is perfect for somebody. Somebody's looking for this right now. Somebody wants this just straightforward, no nonsense experience. And like, I don't want to pick on them for that. Like 100%. Clint asks, is the stature normal? I don't know what that means. What does that mean? What is the stature? Okay, Armando says, install SL. I don't know what this is. Oh, correct it. You type SL by mistake. I'm not going to do that. It's Steam Locomotive. Okay, I think I've seen this. Okay, I think I installed Virt Manager. Did it actually show up? Let's see. Virtual Machine Manager. All right. Let's see if it has. Yep, it's gonna say it needs stuff. Let's see what it needs. It's connected. Okay, let's. All right. Now I'm gonna install KDE Plasma. How about that? This is funny. Okay, here we go. Does XFCE have a GUI updater? Adrian asks. I don't think so, actually. That's a real good question. How do they handle updates? System updates? I don't know. I see they have Synaptic, but like I wouldn't use Synaptic. Yeah, I don't see anything. They have Synaptic. That's probably about it. Yeah, it has GNOME software. See, and that's really going to be it too. Like, you're going to be having fun with GNOME on here. And like, if you're having fun with GNOME on here, oh, Lynn, with $3 super chat, got to jump into a call. Keep being awesome, Veronica. Thank you so much, Lynn. I appreciate it. Let's see. Yeah, sometimes it feels like you almost have to install so much of another desktop in order to get some of these more lightweight desktops working. So like my recommendation is usually if you really want a high-class desktop, go with one of the ones that's pushing a lot of updates and has a lot of features and strip out the parts that you don't use. I tend to think that's a little bit easier than trying to force, if you want a big desktop, trying to force a lightweight desktop to act like a big desktop. Yeah, it's resource friendly for a potato lap. That's exactly it. Like for somebody, this is exactly what they want. And like, I'm not going to pick on that. Absolutely not. Okay, it looks like we've installed. So here we go. We're going to make we're going to see if this works. I've done no checking of it whatsoever. We have to browse. We're in browse local. Hey, there's Debian. I'm going to change the name of the stream real quick. Okay. That was a thing you can do. You can change the name of the stream. So I'm going to do that. Let's see. Let's do, can I? Here, let me make it big. Hang on. Installing Debian inside a Debian VM for fun. There we go. Okay. I've changed the name of the stream. All right. Oh, oh, no, don't do that. Okay, hang on. Okay, now I can see it. All right. Let's do... Lily pinged me on Discord showing it running on Termux on Android. Thank you. I'll check that out later. Oh, I must select an OS. Okay. It didn't automatically detect it. That's not surprising. Debian 13, that's the one. There we go. It may not have search permissions. Do I want to correct it? Yes, please do. Okay, so we're limited on memory because obviously, we're on a VM. Should we give it 2 CPUs? I'm going to give it 2 CPUs. We're going to see what happens. Create a disk. 20. That's gonna, we're not gonna have much room. Why not? Debianception. Let's do that. And let's see. Bye, MP Stein. Appreciate you being here. Okay, let's start the network. Unable. Oh no, network is not active. Okay, so we're running into network issues. Network is already in use. That isn't surprising. I might need to pass it a different network adapter. We're gonna say, I'm gonna get rid of the network for now. And so I'm gonna go in here. We're gonna just remove the network device entirely. And then we're going to begin. Okay. Yes, here we go. Okay, we're the Debian rabbit hole. Okay, so here we go. We're running, this is a virtual machine running the virtual machine. It is going to struggle with this. This is awesome. All right. I love being a little bit crazy in here. Yeah, new install is going to be Plasma Desktop, 100%. All right. No Ethernet card. That's fine. It's you know, this is the net install. It's actually going to struggle with this. I wonder if I should pass it a different network connection. Do I have an adapter handy? I don't think I have one next to me. I'm sitting here trying to think. I'm going to say no Ethernet card. No, because it's not going to be happy about that. So the problem here is that if I don't give it internet, this is the net installer. So if I don't give it internet, I don't think it's actually going to be able to completely install a desktop environment. Yeah, is because of not using QEMU, KVM, and user mode instead. Should we try it? You might be right about that. I don't think I'm part of the, you know what? I have an idea. Okay, we're going to force off this virtual machine. We're going to end this. Debianception 1 is done. That's shut off. I wonder if I need to be part of the virtual machine group. Yeah, libvirt. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Like if I need to be part of the libvirt group. Oh wait, okay, no, we got a lot of people suggesting. All right, give me a second. File new connection in. Yeah. No, that's, I don't think, yeah, QEMU KVM user session. QEMU user mode is likely, yep, that's okay. Networking options are very limited. I don't know that that's what we need, but let's try that. Because this might be the quickest way through this. And we'll do a new, you know what? I'm going to delete what we did because it didn't actually do anything. And then delete. Is it going to yell at me saying it doesn't have permissions? Yep. So I'll, oh, because that's in libvirt. This is going to be an issue. Now I bet I don't have enough room. Let's find out. Okay. And let's browse local. And Debian, sure, why not? And it's not going to detect, so I got to tell it Debian 13. That looks fine. That looks fine. Okay, so it didn't, I don't think it actually spun up and got to full size. So that's going to be fine. Debianception 2. User mode networking. Okay, let's see if user mode networking works. There we go. Okay. Yeah, this is just easier without needing a dongle nearby or something else. Now the scaling is really weird. I wonder if I can shrink this down so you can see it. This is funny. I'm having a good time with this. Oh, come on. There we go. Be smaller, please. I don't know why the scaling got kind of kittywampus, but I want it to be really obvious this is a virtual machine. So there's that. All right. So we are going to install XFCE, or no, I'm sorry. We're going to install KDE Plasma on top of XFCE. So Ilias asks, what does user mode network do? It basically, the difference between the administrative network and the user mode network has to do with what the permissions are required in order to actually spin stuff up. When you have full administrative networking, you know, like through sudo, you can do things like create bridge connections and other stuff like that. That can be really useful on a server. Obviously, it's something you do a lot, but I don't do that through the GUI. I tend to do that the old-fashioned way and just push things through. So the I love these comments. So that's we in user mode networking, we're limited in what we can actually change on the host machine, and those limits can make this easier to do graphically. So if that makes sense. So hostname Debianception. We'll do that. We don't have a domain. We did this once before. You saw this. Okay, so again, in case you didn't see the first part, I recommend for new users that they skip this part with the root password, because if you're used to sudo and you are managing a Linux desktop, the desktop tools are all going to assume you have sudo. And if you have root and not sudo, you're going to have a harder time getting started on the desktop, especially if you're coming from Ubuntu or Fedora or Pop! OS or Mint. You're just not going to have as good of a time with Debian. I wish they were clearer about what this means here. They're very clear from a system administrative standpoint. I know exactly what this means. But this will be enabled for you by adding that initial user to the sudo group. Doesn't mean anything to somebody who is new to Linux. So that's a thing I think of. So we're going to do, here I am, password, same password. Let's see. Debian is a brick for your brick. Indeed. Okay, Central, my favorite time zone, because it's the one I live in. One of the nice things about Central is that for people on the East Coast, I'm not too far away in terms of like our schedules. And for people on the West Coast, I'm not too far away in terms of our schedules. So like, I kind of think Central is really cool. Okay, well, we're doing that. All in one partition. Just do it. Yes, write the changes to the fake disk on the fake disk. Here we go. Okay, not gonna play Bop It because I did that. And lots of people have pointed out that it's kind of a lot. So there's that. Let's see. Clarity says, oh, geez, I step away for an errand and come back to Veronica installing Debian in Debian. It's Debian in Debian in Debian, too, because the host is also Debian. Trina says, as someone that lives in the Eastern time zone, I disagree with you. Well, no, you should like your time zone. Like, if you want to, that's fine. What I like about mine is that I'm not too far from yours. That's an advantage there. Yep. Last time I installed Debian, I had to install sudo, but I did set up a root user and a normal user in the installer. See, and that's great if you know how to do that. I think your average, relatively beginner person does not know how to do that, and they get confused by it. Okay, we don't need any fancy mirror or proxy, so I'm just skipping that stuff. H3CJP says, I use Artix with runit instead of systemd and do as instead of sudo, and it's annoying that so much stuff expects sudo. I have a sudo symlink pointing to do as, and it mostly does the trick. Yeah, if you're not used to sudo, or if you don't like it, like that's definitely a workaround. I don't recommend that for people who don't know why they don't like sudo. That's if you know why you don't like sudo, you should use something else. If you don't know, just use sudo and learn whether you like it or not. That's like, you don't have to stick with it forever. Let's see. I'm going to do the popularity contest because of course I will. It's reporting feedback to the Debian people. I don't always do that on production, but this is a virtual machine. I want them to know what I'm doing. Okay, so now we're going to install KDE Plasma because that was the runner-up in my poll. Yeah, oh, and everybody's going to yell at me about how I pronounce sudo. You know, I don't care how you pronounce it. It stands for super user do, and or something like that. And so people say it's sudo, and it probably is. But I say fur instead of for. Like it's part of my accent apparently requires sudo. You don't pronounce it weird. However, if you're understood, you're not pronouncing it weird. Everybody who's saying it's something different. Yeah, switch. I don't think it's switch user do. I think I read this once. I read this in the Linux, the Evie Nemeth guide. I think it's super user do. But like, is that accurate? I don't know. I might be totally wrong. I don't know how it would be pronounced different. It's okay, really. Don't get hung up on pronunciation, folks. It could be sudo or sudo. What matters is that you're understood. That's the part that matters. Okay, so I'm gonna make myself big for a second. Lily says, try having an Irish/Scottish accent. People would flip. I don't know how. I can barely do like the north of the Twin Cities, Minnesota accent, and I grew up there. Like I'm not great with accents. Let's see. Yeah, it's the same with gnome and mate. Gnome and mate. I know that's how some people say it. Or Ubuntu. Yep. Oh, it's all kinds of fun. I say sudo. I don't care. I don't care how people say it. It's like people who, now those are fighting words because I totally pronounce the letters SQL as sequel. 100% do it. Always will. It's just, it is how it is. My favorite story about this is when I was getting started in tech and I was learning about networking. One of the ladies who taught me about network administration stuff was, she was older and she'd been around a while, and she pronounced TCP/IP as TickPip, which I still to this day kind of like, I have respect for that. Like, she knew, like, this wasn't that long ago. She understood it. What it was, everybody else had gone with TCP/IP. It was TickPip till the day she retired. Like, and I understood what she meant. You know, context told me what it was. So like, I was good with it. Yeah, TickPip is now TickPip. There you go. I love it. I absolutely love it. Let's see. How do people in Fargo say sudo? Let's see. Probably sudo. I'm not from Fargo, so I don't know. I have a smidge of the Minnesota accent. Like when I catch it when I say sure. You know, like that's the, like if somebody goes like, "Oh, you want to pop with that?" I go, "Sure." And it's like, "Oh, I didn't say sure. I said sure." You know, like that's where I hear it the most, but Yeah, smidge and ope and I excised don't you know as a kid. I didn't, you know, I stopped saying that. Sudo make me a tick pip. I like it. Yeah, I'm Clarity says, I'm Canadian and we do the for sure as well. Ha ha ha. Yeah, for sure. I like fur, like the number is 4, but the deal at the store is 2 for 1. And that fur there ends up being the word FOR pretty much everywhere. Like that's pretty common here. Yeah, twofer. I say twofer. I say twofer a lot. Oh yeah, I gotta go to Menards because they got a twofer going on. Yeah. Let's see. Bubba asks, do I know how to enable window snapping on LXQT? No, I don't. Lily says, Menards, Yep. Menards is definitely a thing. Let's see. Sorry for coming in. Oh, well, thanks for coming. Access denied. I like your handle. That's pretty great. Do I pronounce poor and poor similarly? No, not at all. That's from Vartan. Do I pronounce poor and poor similarly? I don't think I pronounce them similarly. Let's see. A twofer in Canada is a case of beer. Oh, yeah, I get that. That's funny. Let's see. And somebody asked if I'm from Lake Superior. I'm not from that far north in Minnesota. But that's definitely where vacation was. If that makes sense. Yeah, Taryn says you said the same word. No, I didn't. Poor and poor. Like one of them is poor, like I have a poor network connection. The other is poor, like what I'm doing with my water bottle. It's the same. Like those are different words, but I pronounce them exactly the same. I think that's a Minnesota thing. Whiskey Sauce. Hi, love your channel. You make the best Linux videos. Thank you, Whiskey Sauce. I appreciate it. Willie says a tiny minute difference, but not that much. Yeah, that's poorly explained. So yeah, I'm getting a lot of smidge. My band makes fun of me for saying smidge. I say smidge a lot. Okay, so we just finished up the main part. Now we're doing the Grub part. Grub is fine of a bootloader. Don't care what anybody has to say about it. I mean, on like if I was installing Arch, I might do something different, but Grub's fine. There's a machine inside the machine. Let's see. Everybody, I love people talking about pronunciation in the comments. Let's see. Grub is one of the most overly complicated bootloaders, Maxim says. Yeah, you know, I'm with you. It's complicated and like I think are we ready to move on? Probably. But if it's what I try not to break too far from what the distro's doing in these cases because like I want it to work. Passaput asks, have we already talked about how to pronounce Windows? Windows. Is there another way to pronounce it? Windows. All right, we're Debianing inside of Debian. Cat's Eye says, if it wasn't kernel 6.12, I'd use Debian. My system is a tad newer to work on it. You know, I very rarely buy the newest thing. That is a benefit I have. Here we go. We're Plasma on XFCE. So this is nuts. All right. Let's see how well this works. It feels pretty snappy if you ask me. Show the window inside the window. Let's see. Can I? I forget how to, like, okay. Does anybody remember how to get out of full screen view on here? I don't remember how to do that. Like, I think I gotta, like, hit it against the, there we go. Maybe that'll do it. There we are. All right. There we go. Some Debianception going on. So here is inside of, so the outside window, here, I'll make me go away. So the outside window is my actual host machine. You can see I got LibreWolf, so that's how you know it's the host machine. And then inside it is a Debian VM running XFCE, and inside that is a Debian VM running KDE Plasma. So that's what I did with my day. Oh, thanks for hanging out, Lily. I appreciate you being here. Okay, so yeah, now install GNOME VM inside this one. I'm running out of RAM. That's going to be the issue. I needed to start with giving it more RAM. I think the bottleneck is going to be RAM here. So let's see how KDE Plasma feels. Should I make it full screen inside the window? Let's, okay, we're machine, and then the machine. Let's see how this feels. There we go. Okay. So we're inside the machine inside the machine. Let's see. So here's the welcome center for KDE Plasma. Plasma's, I'm seeing a little bit of screen tearing. It probably has to do with the multiple generations thing happening here. But I love this welcome center. This is just solid. You know, like chef's kiss here. Plasma is an extremely feature-rich, and see, I adore how they do this. Like KRunner, and it explains exactly how KRunner works. You get it from the second you open it up, or at least a couple of seconds after you open it up. This is just such an epic win for Plasma, is this welcome center. Like, imagine being new. You know, imagine being new to Linux. Yeah, you're going to see two cursors on the screen. I can't help that. But imagine being new to Linux. Like, getting this is awesome. This is stunning. Absolutely adore this. And like the overview, like it explains the overview and all that stuff. You can access it with Meta. I wonder if MetaW is going to be bound to the host. Nope. Okay, it's bound to the machines. That's good. And then Meta G or Super G shows them in a grid, which is really cool. I use this one plenty. So I kind of like that overview, but that's just me. I think I mapped this to something else though on my main machine. I think I did it as Super D. Mainly because when I'm coming from Sway, Super D becomes kind of second nature, and my super is mapped to caps lock, so there's that. Oh boy, what did I just look at in the chat? Do Methodists not believe in paying for software? I don't know what's happening there. Oh boy. Yep, it's pointers all the way down. That's right. No, I think what you're seeing here is actually, it has to do with the 3x scaling that I did on the middle of the virtual machines. So the XFCE machine has 3x scaling, but when I go full screen, the desktop has 2x scaling, and I think that the virtual machine manager is creating a ghost here. It's fine. If I were doing this again, I might pass it a separate mouse, so that way we don't run into that problem. Yep, let's see. Vault secure. I love this. Like, I'm tempted to do a video about this and how this works, just because like it's definitely an option. you know, as far as encrypted folders is concerned, I got some concerns about it, but like it's definitely an option, and like I like that they talk about it. KDE Connect is a game changer. Yeah, people are already talking about it in the comments. KDE Connect rocks. Love KDE Connect. So if you're unfamiliar, KDE Connect lets me, I'm not going to set it up because like I don't have a, I don't want you to see my actual phone, but I can get stuff on my phone and send it in a simple networking protocol directly to the computer via KDE Connect. It's awesome, works out really well. It's not Apple's level of convergence, but it's enough convergence for me, which is basically that I just want I want to be able to send files back and forth with ease. And the clipboard sharing and stuff has been really helpful too. I'm a big fan of that. It works out really well on if you have Android. I think it's in F-Droid. You can download the APK. It's KDE Connect is kind of awesome. KDE Connect is good, but iOS, I mean, it is what it is. Let's see. Okay, Rinse Wind CL with the joke here. I'm going to read it out loud. What is a Unix or Linux sysadmin's favorite hangout place? The foo bar. Okay, there you go. Bunix says it works on iPhone. I don't know if it does work on iPhone. I haven't used iPhone in years. Like probably 10 years, maybe. It's been a while. I think the iPhone I had was an iPhone 7. And I didn't buy it when it was new. So if that gives you an indication. Okay, so I'm not going to set up KDE Connect because it's a virtual machine and we're networking inside of networking. So it's probably not going to see anything. And I don't want to pass a Wi-Fi card 2 levels down. So activities, it explains the activities view. I like this for I like the activities view for organizing when I'm making music versus when I'm like surfing the web. I find that to be kind of helpful. And system settings is, you know, boring. I don't know what this is doing. But it's awesome. Like this is way cool. Okay. So then it Discover is a very serviceable app store kind of thing. I don't use it all that much. I do everything from the terminal, but it's kind of nice. And here's their how much information you're providing, usage stats wise. You can go, I like the slider. I think that this is a noble way to do it, where you can, it defaulted to disabled, and you can push through to varying levels of taking information about your system, which I think is really helpful. I'm going to leave it disabled now just because it's a virtual machine inside a virtual machine, and this isn't it's not good information for them. So, I mean, I did it for the Debian popularity contest, but this is a little different. And enjoy it. We hope you love Plasma. Now is a great time to jump in. So, and then supporting members, which is kind of fun. And I wonder if I'm on there yet. I might be on here somewhere. Can I search for it? No. Okay. That's okay. I do donate to KDE Plasma. I have had a recurring donation for a good long while now, and I'm a big fan of their work. So I also donate to GNOME. I donate the same amount, both projects, so you can't get mad at me for it. But please, if you have the means, make a donation. Okay, so there's that, and now we're in KDE Plasma. So first thing I'm going to do is we're going to look at the desktop and wallpaper. So here's what KDE Plasma is shipping on Debian 13, Debian Trixie, and it's sparse, but there's a little bit more. I always like this one. I think that one's nice and pretty. Now I'm gonna try. Let's see. We might be pushing it. Let's go into displays. We're 1280 by 800. I wonder. if it can handle 1920 by 1080. Kinda. I think it's looking okay. Now, I wouldn't normally scale it fractionally here, but I'm going to do that right now. Yeah, it's a little messy. It's you know, this is a bit I know I'm on a stream and you might be watching this on a small screen. So like I'm trying to be, you know, making it easy for you to see it. Now install Gentoo inside this virtual machine. Oh, it's funny. Are these windows wobbly? I don't know. I don't think these windows are actually wobbly. I think you're just seeing the artifacting. I think that's a symptom, not a design choice. Oh, Addie, you want me to do haiku? I'm not doing haiku. Not on this. It's not a good experience for haiku. I got my own things for haiku. Is this Wayland or X11? People are going to get mad at me. This is Wayland on X11 on Wayland. That's what I'm doing. Yeah, the artifacting is pretty bad. Shadow Glider says, I agree. Okay, WNBA fan asks, question, can using a VPN cause issues with KDE Connect? I have issues with Kubuntu to KDE Connect on my Android phone. It can, in my experience, if you're routing all traffic through it and it's not hitting the local network. What I typically do with a VPN is I set up the VPN to only impact traffic that's escaping my local network. Like basically, I exempt IP addresses and host names that are local specific. That's gotten me in trouble sometimes before because in some cases, I'm using an internal host name that routes differently when I'm internally to the network than it does externally. And so that can be a bit futzy, and half the time I just end up like not connecting to my Jellyfin server when I'm away from home. So there's that. So yeah, split tunneling is a way you can do that. I find exemptions work reasonably straightforward. Yeah, the windows are all wobbly. Let's see. Tiny Core Linux is the final boss VM. What time is it? Okay. I'm making a poll. Okay, we're doing a poll. Should I do Tiny Core inside the VM? Inside the VM. Oh boy. Oh my goodness. Okay. Yeah, WNBA fan says, I'm going to have to go back and listen to your advice. Yeah, I would say check out the split tunneling, but like also like check out exempting. I think both things are good. Okay. Should I? Okay. I think with 89 votes saying, yeah, do it. That's 78%. Let's see. I think I'm gonna do it. You know, I'm gonna start downloading it. All right. So first of all, I'm gonna show you all one of my favorite features of Debian, because folks don't know you can do it. And I think this is awesome. So earlier I had expressed my frustration with Firefox because it has problems. I'm not a huge fan of the default Firefox setup, and I tend to set mine up to be a lot more like LibreWolf anyway. So lately I've just been using LibreWolf, but LibreWolf isn't packaged for Debian, at least in the repos. What are you gonna do? There's a program called Xreo. So I just installed it. So if we go to Xreo, you can manage external Debian repositories. So if I want to add LibreWolf, I can search for it. I didn't need to sudo for this, but I'm gonna. And it tells you, oh, hey, here's LibreWolf, and here's where it is. So I can go sudo xrepo enable LibreWolf. And now, an apt update. And I can see it's picking up LibreWolf's repo. Look at that. Oh, I didn't need to Y for that because I just done. So, Xreo is awesome for installing packages outside of the traditional Debian method without needing to, mess with your app sources file and all that stuff. I absolutely love Xreo. I need to do a video about it because it would be amazing. Cat's Eye asks, isn't it on FlatHub? Yes, but the FlatHub version has some small differences that might make it not worth installing for certain people. So does it manage package updates? So all it did was add the repo, Ilias. So that's all it did. So now when LibreWolf updates through the repo, apt is just going to pick it up. It's not actually doing the updating for you. So now it's just an everyday apt package. My regular routine of sudo apt update, sudo apt upgrade is gonna do that. Will Xreo play nice with Ubuntu PPAs? Mark asks. I don't think it's on Ubuntu, and I don't think you'd want to use it on Ubuntu. I think you'd want to stick with PPAs. When I use Debian, I don't use PPAs because PPAs are an Ubuntu thing. And so, Ilias says, oh, okay, I thought it's only pulling the deb. No, it's actually, it set up a repo and now we're enabled for that. So, which is kind of awesome. Yeah, Mark says, I mean, for using PPAs with Debian. I don't recommend people use PPAs with Debian. Just because the package stuff isn't always going to be 100% compatible. You could run into some problems there. Okay. Do I use Xreo on Debian? I sure do. I use it for LibreWolf and I think a couple other things, but I don't know for sure. So now I have LibreWolf, which is a much less bloaty browser. I mean, it's when I say bloaty, I just mean like this page. But one of the things that I like about LibreWolf is that the privacy and security settings default to strict, and it's deleting cookies and site data when LibreWolf is closed by default. Those are all settings that I set manually in Firefox, and with LibreWolf, it just starts that way, which I think is really helpful. Also, there's no AI thing here. It's just, it doesn't exist in LibreWolf, and I kind of like that. Rajesh asks, what's the graphics processor like for the VM? What driver do you use? It's all default. It's all CPU. 100% of my virtual machine on this is just CPU. It's all the default stock stuff. Let's see. CS Dreamer says, what else is in Xreo? Mainline kernel? I don't think kernel's in there. I don't know if you'd want to install mainline kernel through a tool like this. If you're installing mainline, you should use the traditional Debian mechanisms for it. Let's see. Yep. What about the Ladybird browser? Yeah, I don't remember who's doing Ladybird. I'll check out any browser. Like, yeah, folks are saying I have those settings in Brave. Don't like Brave because lots of reasons, not going to get into it. But if you know me from social media, you probably know me and Brave don't get along. So I had somebody ask about syncing. I don't think this has the sync features, which I don't use. But I believe you could probably get them as an extension. This comes with uBlock built in. It's fine. And it gets its stuff from Mozilla. So Firefox Sync might be an add-on. No. So yeah, it doesn't do that. But I don't do that. So I don't sync my bookmarks. Just period. I just don't. Yeah, let's see. I hate projects cramming AI everywhere. It's so boring. So-called AI. Yeah, I'm with you. I'm 100% with you. Kind of can't stand it. Okay, we're doing Tiny Core Linux. So, oh yeah, and with LibreWolf, it defaults to DuckDuckGo, which is better than Google for obvious reasons. Okay. There is Firefox Sync on LibreWolf, somebody says. Sync can be done in the settings for LibreWolf. Can it? Settings. I mean, let me search sync. Oh, enable. Okay, yep, it's inside. I bet it's inside here. There's a checkbox for enable Firefox Sync. So you can sync it. I just don't. Here's the reality for me is I don't sync my bookmarks because I'm pretty thorough about deleting bookmarks after I'm done with it. If I want something long-term as a link, I usually save it to VimWiki. And then I just click it from VimWiki. And then that syncs up with everything. So that's, you know, my everyday bookmarks are just YouTube and like stuff that I use for the channel, really. You know, okay, Temis Megas, hopefully I pronounced your name right, says, I didn't realize LibreWolf's automatic deletion was just a configurable setting. I'm the kind of person who looks 2 years back in my browser history, which always made me instantly not consider it. It is a setting. I actually don't know. I think it clears the site cookies and the site data, and you can exempt sites really easily. So like here, you know, we go to Tiny Core Linux. Is that the right website? Is tinycorelinux.net the right one? I just don't want to click the wrong thing. Yep, it is. Okay, so maybe they're just not on HTTPS. So there we go. That makes sense based on who they are. But let's say I wanted to exempt this and allow it to save details. I should be able to do that from somewhere. It might not do it for this site. Let's do my site. There we go. Okay, so here I clicked on the, you know, secure thing, and I can check this for always store cookies / data for this site, and it's that easy to exempt a site from deletion, which I think is neat. I like that. It's easy enough for me. Have I tried installing Slackware on a virtual machine? No. I've not. I'm doing, Tiny Core is going to be the limit if I do it at all. Should I do it? Okay, it looks like according to the poll, 77% said do it. We still have 300 and some people watching. So installing Tiny Core inside a Debian VM inside a Debian VM for fun. Okay. There we go. I've been peer pressured into it, which is fine. It's 2 o'clock. I think that's okay. Downloads. Let's see if we can. Okay, let's do this one. Because I think we can probably handle Core Plus. because it has the choice of 7 window managers. 7. Okay, CS Dreamer asks, what virtualization software am I using? I am using QEMU/KVM on top of QEMU/KVM, and I'm about to do it yet again. So all right, let's see how it works. Okay, so I need to start thinking about my download size because I'm going to run out of space here. But I think that's probably fine. Okay, I don't know how to pronounce your username, symbol DD, but I like syncing my extensions. Do you use a lot of extensions aside from the obvious uBlock origin? Just Bitwarden. You know, just password manager. uBlock does so much, and I just don't need much else beyond that. Yeah, the terminal refreshing is getting stuttery. Yeah, it absolutely looks like that. Is it host to VM? So Jim Pearson asks, is it host to VM to VM to Tiny? It's host. The host is running Debian. The first VM is running Debian with XFCE. The second VM is running Debian with KDE Plasma. And now we're installing Virt Manager, at least trying to see if we can get a Tiny Core installed. Nope, it's not dead. So Jesse said it's dead, Jim. No. We're not dead. Yeah, run a Docker container next. It's a Linux Matryoshka doll. I bet we could go real far into this. So, all right, I'm just going to try. We just got to try it. Okay. I know RAM is about to be limited, so I'm going to close Windows. Let's do that. Yeah, in hindsight, I don't know if KDE Plasma was the right decision for this. So that's... But, you know, we're having fun. So, and fun is the part that matters. Yep, that's all fine. Got to remember which password because I'm several passwords in at this point. All right, so first off, we should add a connection. Let's just do that right away and create a user session because we're definitely nesting networks inside networks inside networks, and I don't want to deal with it. So let's do that. And now... let's do create a new virtual machine inside here. And let's browse to, this is so silly. All right, let's browse here. It didn't detect it, so I bet Tiny Core is not gonna show up. Yeah, generic Linux 2024, that's fine. All right, so I gotta be very careful. It definitely wants to do more than I'm giving it right now. So I'm going to do, this might be not enough. So, but it's Tiny Core, so hopefully it can do it. All right. It wants to give more space. I'm not going to give it more space. Let's see. Saul asks, I wish I knew what was going on. Welcome, Saul. I'm installing a Tiny Core virtual machine inside of a Debian KDE Plasma virtual machine, which is currently running inside a Debian XFCE virtual machine, which is currently running inside my regular Debian host. So that's what's happening. You're caught up. I listened to the chat, and now things are happening. Tiny Core. All right. Okay. Here we go. I need to let's make that smaller so we can see it all. Because, oh my goodness, this is gonna be weird. All right. All right. So which one? I'm not gonna do a poll here. I want to do FLWM. I think that's what I want. Open box is real. Ice is real. Like a lot of these are real nice. We're gonna stick with the default here. I want to see what happens. I ran TinyCore on a, what system was it? It was a system I found, because I, do some volunteering for e-waste stuff. I want to say it was like a Pentium 2. That was easy. Oh, come on now. That wasn't even hard. Okay, let's see. Oh, well, thank you, Thomas, for the kind words. Yep, we're doing some fun. Okay. Okay, let's I gotta do this. All right, so we're gonna make TinyCore big. So this is the I did it point here. We got there's KDE Plasma. Let me close down some windows here. Just make it really obvious what's going on inside here. And then I gotta make this small. So there we go. All right. Inside, this is currently what my life looks like. So inside the main window, I gotta make myself small here. Hang on. Okay. So inside the main window here is this is my host, and there's a virtual machine running Debian XFCE. Inside that is a virtual machine running KDE Plasma, and in Debian KDE Plasma, and inside that is TinyCore running on in there. And oh my goodness, I can't even keep up with it. I just realized we have a bald Harry thing happening where we have the main window is running Wayland. Inside that it's X11. Inside that is Wayland, and inside that is X11. So don't let anybody tell you that I'm like being mean to x.org. Because I'm showing so much of it. So let's see, is this usable at this particular setup? I'm trying to find where's the Windows. There we go. Okay. The problem here is when I do it this way, my mouse is so fast, like just a little bit. I have the fancy MX Ergo. It's a little bit easier when I turn down the sensitivity. Look at that. That's so absurd. Okay, this is a blast. I'm having fun. That was so lightning fast here. Okay, yeah, MX Ergo with a trackball, you know it. All right, let's start making stuff bigger. All right, so there's full screen for that, full screen for that, and finally full screen for TinyCore. Okay, so here we are at the most absurd. I'll turn down the sensitivity so that way the mouse actually feels somewhat normal. And here are the applications that it has. So now I don't think we've actually installed TinyCore yet. So I think I can just do this. Yep. And then install the bootloader. ext4 is fine. TinyCore accepts the following persistence options. Yeah, just I don't want persistent options. I want it to just be normal. All right, Core and XGUI desktop. NDIS wrapper. I haven't thought about that in years. All right, There we go. Proceed. Let's see if it does it. Yeah, that installer needs an update for file system type selection, CS Dreamer says. Yeah, there you go. Okay, Rajesh asks a very good question. How does one join a product or project like GNOME full time? You know, every desktop or like even just any open source project is going to have different levels of that. I know, like, in the case of something really big like GNOME or KDE Plasma, you have a lot of independent developers who are getting paid through third parties. Either they're self-raising the money to work on it, or they are being funded through a company that uses the underlying tools. And so usually, I think for most people, unless you're really comfortable doing what I'm doing right now and being out and about and promoting yourself, the vast majority of folks who are getting paid to do it, they're getting paid because their company is paying them to do it. And in that case, it's actually debatable if you'd call that full time, because in a lot of cases, they're spending part of their day on the desktop, or put your open source software in wherever you want it to go, and the rest of the day on like company specific stuff. So like if that makes sense. Okay, Francois, thank you so much for hanging out, Francois. Hopefully, Rajesh, that answered your question. It's you know, if you go through and you look up who's sponsoring the project that you're interested in, it doesn't hurt, I think, to try to make contacts at that organization and see what you can do. It's easier to get noticed when you do things like, you know, create nice public-facing tools that people can use, or create documentation, or create videos, or, you know, like something where you're actually getting noticed with it. That does kind of help a little bit. Okay, it says installation has completed. So I think it's installed. Look at that. Okay. Apps. Okay, let's see if I can click apps. There we go. I'm having a bit of a hard time with the mouse. I don't know why. I think... Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if I have to reboot, but I think my real issue is that I'm using... I think my real issue is that my mouse is all being emulated touch screens all the way down, and I probably have to figure out a better solution for that if I'm going to be making a habit out of nesting a nested VM. I should probably, you know what, I'm doing this wrong because this is all installing in RAM. I'm going to exit and restart this monstrosity, and we're going to see. Okay, so we'll shut it down. So yeah, PWN Sensei says that UI though. Was it actually just rebooting? I thought I told it to shut down. Nope, it rebooted instead of shutting down. Interesting. Okay, well, it worked. So, oh boy. Okay, yeah, the mouse is really hard to use, and I think that's just because it's doing a thing. So virtual machines, typically when you have a mouse, they're emulating like a touch screen driver. And I think because I'm scaling in a way that's scaling to 3x, then 2x, then 3x. I think it's giving me nightmares here. So, all right, let's see. So this is FLWM, right? I forget what do we call this one? I haven't used this in a while. It reminds me of OpenBox, but it's definitely not OpenBox. It's not ICE. Somebody go rewind the stream and tell me what I installed. Yeah, FVWM. Thank you. Yeah, I couldn't remember. Zoe asks, what shenanigans are we up to now? We installed TinyCore inside the KDE Plasma VM inside the XFCE VM. Because obviously, like, right? Okay, let's see what wallpapers. There's a wallpaper. I just do wallpaper reviews after all. Okay, so we can actually choose the gradient. Oh, that's kind of nice. Okay, let's do that. So color 1, color 2. Let's make it brown and yellow. That's perfect. Look at that. Flawless. What's the ugly green gray Windows NT color? That's the ugly green gray Windows NT color. It's a choice. You know, you got to remember who, like, this isn't flipping Hyperland. Like, we're doing a silly thing here. I kind of like that. Like, I think that's kind of pretty. I'm gonna go with that. We can do a diagonal gradient. See, I always like the diagonal gradient. It is very slow, but look at that. There we are. It's like, oh geez. Yeah, the Windows NT color is 008081. I can picture it now. This is not that color, but it's pretty close. Yeah, I now have 3 mouse cursors on the screen, so I'm surviving. Let's see. I gotta try to push to the edge, and then there we go. And now go back, and I should have there we are. Okay, I'm figuring out if I maneuver my mouse toward the corner, I have more control over the where it is. Okay, let's get some apps, because obviously. Okay, I wasn't picking on Hyperland. I hope people know that. Like, use Hyperland if you want to. Absolutely use Hyperland if you want to. I don't like all the bling. It's kind of my thing. Like, I tend to like things to be relatively straight. Like, I don't like animations. When it comes to tiling, I actually prefer manual tiling to automatic tiling. I find that half the time with automatic tiling, I disagree with where it is based on the particular window I'm tiling. So I like to be able to do that all from the keyboard anyway. Oh, Christopher, hi. How deep are we in the cans of worms? You got it. We're about that deep. We are doing, the host is Debian, Trixie. The first VM is Debian Trixie with XFCE. The second VM is Debian Trixie with KDE Plasma. And then the third VM inside all of the other ones is TinyCore Linux. So we are definitely here. Let's see. Apps. Can we check? Okay. Check for updates. Let's see what it gives me. Yeah, what's the CPU and RAM on the host? I don't remember. It's nice. I talked about it in my, I did a fast fetch full of specs toward the end of my recent How I Make Videos on Linux video. It's the same computer. I want to say it's 64 gig of RAM and like 16 or 32 cores. I don't remember. Okay, 4NY says, the worst thing about Hyperland is the community. I do love the workflow of auto-tiling. I was supposed to be testing it, not dailying it. I'm not sure what dailying means. Yeah, I've heard that the Hyperland community can be a smidge rough. I haven't engaged with it, so I don't know. Let's see. There is no cant in cans of worms. Absolutely. Oh, Physics Lab, thank you so much for the kind words. I appreciate it. That's great. Physics is amazing. That's wonderful. I might be able to squeeze a Linux from scratch VM in here, though I doubt. I think the problem there would be, wouldn't it be compilation? Like, I don't have much to compile with. Yeah, like system stats here. Okay, so here's the system stats. Oh, I just realized I might be in the way of some of this. Okay. So it's that's the computer, or that's the processor. It's an AMD Ryzen 9 7900X 12-core processor, but I've only given this VM like a core, and it's nested through multiple other VMs. So Alan says, "Don't have much to compile with. Tell that to 1993." Yes, that's absolutely true. I could probably swing something. Do Nix OS. Okay, and I can pronounce it as any. Okay, thank you, any. Appreciate that. You never know. So, bare bones standalone budgie. Maybe in a future video. I don't think there's much to do here. Yeah, if you want to compile, try Gen 2. That'd be a challenge here. So there's the details at the CPU, and then memory. This is only getting a single gig, which is probably enough. Okay, should we try a YouTube video? All right. This is the grand finale, but I don't know. Do I even have a web browser? No, of course not. I need to find a web browser. Oh, geez. Olama test run. I'm not. Yeah, watch the stream in the VM. That's the plan. But I don't know how to install apps inside TinyCore, now that I think about it. Okay. Do I have to search? Browse. Okay. There we go. All right. Now I need a browser. I don't know what. Chromium is in there. Okay. That might be what I do. I might just do Chromium. Yep. Okay. Let's install it. How do I install it? Where's the install Chromium option? I need install Chromium. Install. Yeah, browse for browser. MMFS. What is this? I don't know. The title says it. It's TinyCore inside a Debian VM, inside a Debian VM, inside a Debian VM, because I just listened to what people said. Links? Yeah, I could install links, but then I'm not going to actually get to watch the stream. It's got to be something that has, codecs and things. If I double click it hard enough, do you think it'll install? I don't know how to install. How do you install a browser? Files. Is it in here? Click on files. Okay, yep. I clicked on files. It's real rough. Nope. I don't see it. Oh, okay. I think it's on demand or download and load. I'm gonna do on boot. 'Cause why not? This isn't my everyday computer, so I think I'm okay with it. I think I have to click the go in that corner, and then I can see stuff started to happen. So this very much reminds me of like first trying Linux way back when, after I'd experimented with Ubuntu enough and was kind of branching out. A lot of stuff kind of looked like this. Bomac says, Veronica, you lead an interesting life. LOL. Yeah, I love it. Yeah, Addie asks, what was that Debian package manager extension you mentioned? EXT repo. That's what that's called. Yep, people are saying it. Okay. Yeah, just load everything on boot every time. What can go wrong? Exactly. Like, we don't care. Okay, I got to go all the way to the corner and then back out in order for my mouse to work. And that's just because it's lots of virtual machines. There's Chromium. All right. Let's see if Chromium runs. There we go. Look at Chromium. Wow. Okay. With some stuff is happening. All right. First of all, I'm going to see if any website works. So let's go to my website. Nope. It's either I brought it down or we have an SSL issue. Yeah, this might... I wonder... Here, let's... Just to make sure it's not a networking concern. Okay, so this is my band's website. And it doesn't require cert. So this works just fine. So the web is working. Like there's me and like I love my band. Oh, you probably can't see because I'm blocking the people. But so I'll scroll over. So there's my bandmates. There's me, and there's Taylor and Amy and Sean, and we are in a band together, and we have all kinds of fun. So that works. What genre? Retro tuber novelty rock would be the operative genre. Does YouTube work? Okay, nope. Okay. Your browser isn't supported anymore. Remind me later. All right. Yeah, I think YouTube might support older SSL, but my website probably doesn't. So that's probably what that was. Okay. I need to go to the search. Can I search? There's no search. This is not, the search is not happy with me. Let's try this, maybe? This is hilarious. Okay. What I need is the URL. I think if I don't have search, but if I'm going to go to YouTube in my other browser here, my host, and go to my own channel. Can I go to my own channel? I can't go to my own channel. I can't see your chat right now, so please stand by. Okay, copy the link. And then go here. And I get to type a long link now. Just what I've always wanted. Let's see if this works. Okay. You know what I should do? I should just try my channel. I don't know what I was thinking. I did that totally backwards. Okay, this is fine. Everything is fine. I think that's the extent to which we're going to get YouTube, folks. Okay. Oh my goodness. Yeah, try the mobile version. I'll try that real quick. All right, let's isn't that just this? It's switching me right back. Need an @ before the chat. I don't know if you do when it's like this, but I can try it. I don't see it. Yeah, I need to modify the user agent to hit the mobile site. That's what I was thinking. And I didn't see any other browsers for TinyCore, so I think this is probably the extent to which I'm going to be able to manipulate it. Protostar says, at the very least, you could try it in KDE. I have absolute confidence it's going to work in KDE. Like, so much so to where I'm not worried about it at all. I'm just going to do a quick search here for let's try Opera, because that was a support. It says Opera, but it's like Opera 9. Okay. It hasn't been updated since 2009. Okay, I'm going to take... Oh, that's Opera 9. There's Opera 12 right up here. Okay. How about Opera 12? All right. When was this updated? 2019. Okay, that has a pretty good chance of working. Let's see. On boot, go. We can have more than one browser, right? Yeah, I only looked for packages that have browser in the name. You're probably right about that. But why not? Let's just do Opera. Why not? I don't care about this computer anyway. Let's see. I agree. Of course I agree. Okay. There's definitely a thing. Oh my goodness. Whoa. All right. It's what YouTube told me to do. Oh, geez. You're really gonna do this to me, YouTube? Come on, I'm on the best browser you gave me. Right? It's doing the exact same thing. Okay, I'm gonna close this. I'm gonna search for Firefox because I think that was the right tip. I think I searched for browser like it was a search engine. And what I should have done is searched for Firefox. I have 2 of these open because I'm a pro. Hey, Sean. I was just talking about the band. Linux. It's Linux inside Linux inside Linux inside Linux. All right, let's try Firefox. Let's see. Firefox get latest. Okay, that's promising. Dare I search LibreWolf? No, that's not gonna happen. Okay, Firefox. Let's try that. Yep, Firefox get latest. Let's do it. Yep, I'm tiny coring, Sean. You must have heard me tiny coring and was like, "Oh, hey, I got to go check out what she's doing." Let's see. So, I'm trying to figure out a browser that will work on TinyCore to show a YouTube video because I want to show the current video in TinyCore, which I think could be fun. Let's see. And did it do anything? It says okay. But I don't see anything. Do I have to hit a button? Applications. Okay, Firefox get latest. Do it. There we go. Okay. It's definitely doing some stuff. That looks legit. What would you call it, Sean? Cursed? This is cursed. This is absolutely cursed. We should write a song, Sean, about Tiny Core Linux. Like that would be perfect. Yeah, Eric asks, oh, hi, Eric, by the way. Eric asks, are the Stop Bits, my band, playing at VCF Midwest this year? The answer is yes. I think 10 o'clock on Saturday. So yeah, it's going to be awesome. We're very excited about it. Firefox has been installed. If you want Firefox to load on each reboot, yep, don't care. All right. Let's Firefox this thing. Okay. Oh my goodness. This is absurd. All right. Welcome back, it said. You don't even know me, Firefox. All right. Let's make this big. All right, here we go. We're going to try it. Let's see. Okay. All right, Sean. Thank you. Thanks for stopping by, Sean. We are having fun with the abomination for sure. Okay. So here we go. I'll mute it real quick because there's going to be an ad. It's going to freak me out. So clicking. Oh no. No. Well, there's the chat though. It works, kinda. Let's see. Oh boy. Okay. Yeah, DRM maybe? I'll try the DRM. I thought Firefox shipped with all the DRM stuff ready to go already. This is so absurd. 300 of you are still watching. Wow. Okay. Hi. Let's see. Oh, I saw AI. Turn that off. Whatever it was. I don't want it. Didn't ask for. Don't do that. No. Negative. Bad Firefox. Bad Mozilla. Oh, I saw DRM. What's happening is my scroll wheel is like super powerful. Yeah, regular YouTube doesn't require DRM. That's what I thought. I mean, I'll click it. I almost wonder if it's this, if it's performance settings, and I'm gonna let's just disable hardware acceleration because oh, there it was. Okay, and we're gonna enable this. I don't know which one will fix it, but something will fix it. Okay. Oh my God. Summarize pages in one click. No. Bad. Naughty Firefox. Naughty Mozilla. Come on. Okay. Hit refresh maybe? Okay. I hit F5. Come on. Do something. No. This might be it. This might be as far as we can go. Load the codec. Okay, Ilias says load the codec. I will try the codec. Sure. Because yeah, we might be having codec issues. That absolutely could be it. libav codec 4. Okay. Oh my God. There we go. All right. Get out of here. No summarizing. Okay, I need a terminal, and this is a pretty terminal. I like this. Okay, I'm trying exactly what you said. I think it was lib. Yeah, Eric says PeerTube. Yeah, I could probably PeerTube, but all right, let's see. I need to get the rest of it. Lib AV. Oh, it's just libav codec 4. Okay. If I can get the mouse. There we go. Okay. Again, the mouse issues are definitely because we're doing a machine inside a machine inside a machine. Okay. We're codecing. Also, thank you, Ilias. This pro tip. Appreciate it. Okay, we got the codec. Now I gotta get my mouse back. Come on, mouse. There we are. I gotta go to the corner and go back out and open Firefox. YouTube. It said switch to tab, and then it disappeared. I might be at my limit. This might be it. This might be the end. Can I kill Firefox? Okay. Now let's see if it runs better. Because there might have been a Firefox up. Yeah, I think Firefox, I don't know this window manager well enough to know what it was just doing. Oop, okay, we got something. We got something. I gotta mute it. No, I don't want to sail. Cabinets to go. Get out of here, cabinets to go. I'm actually making cabinets right now, so that's kind of creepy. Browser can't play the video. So it tried to do the... I might restart and just see if the codecs actually work. But like it started in with the ad. So here, you know what? We're going to do that. We're going to restart the computer. We're going to see if the codecs all work. I kind of want to uninstall Opera and Chromium though, because I told those to go on boot. Now, what did I see? That if you... that there's an on boot. I don't know. Yeah, technically it only showed the frame for the ad, not the video part. That's exactly it. Okay, so we are doing the thing. It's creating fstab. I always will say fstab. I know it's wrong. I know it's fstab. You know, like I'm a grown up. I know, but to me it's always fstab. What'd I do? Oh, I think I need to right click. Did it not? Now I'm confused because Firefox Get Latest is in. I don't know how to... I don't think it updated the... How do you start Firefox? Oh my goodness. All right, let's... apps. Is it Mozilla Firefox? Let's try that. Nope. Firefox Get Latest is installed, but Firefox isn't. Yeah, I think it told me to do some stuff and I just didn't pay attention. You know what? I'm okay with it. It's not like it took very long, and, you know, life comes at you fast. Yeah, it installs into RAM. There you go. Would I need to install the codecs? Because in my mind, the codecs were in the system. So that's a good question. I don't know if I have to install. Here, I'll actually read what it tells me now. If you want Firefox, remember to add Firefox to your onboot.firefox.tcz onboot.lst. Do we have Vim? Do we have, that says vo. Do we have V? Okay, we do. All right. So, and now I forgot what it said. Shoot. Oh no. Okay, there we go. What did it tell me to do? No. I lost it. Yeah, Firefox should just load it from the system. All right, let's, we're going to try it. We're going to see. Yeah, I think because I think the codec was a system-wide thing. I don't think that was limited to Firefox. So okay, they love keeping me safe. All right, let's YouTube. That says YouTube. Don't go to YouTube. YouTube.com/@Veronica explains. I always forget the @ thing exists. I'm used to C/ and then the name. A supporter from Greece says, hello from Greece. I'm going to try to pronounce your name. I'm sorry if I get it wrong. Manousos Sigornakis. I'm so bad with Greek names, so I'm sorry. But hi, I appreciate you being here. Onboot.lst is the text file this GUI manager thing is adding to with the drop-down options. Okay, so that's helpful to know. I just want to see if this does anything at all. Nope. I think we might have reached the limit. Okay, so at the very least, let's see if I can load any video. So I'm going to go to, we'll do PeerTube. You know, I think Eric suggested PeerTube, and I think that's a good idea. Yeah, click on Learn More. I'll click on Learn More. I don't think it's much anything. Yeah, your browser's up to date. That's all it tells me. Okay. Well, let's go to my PeerTube. Okay, nope. Incompatible codecs. We gotta be having more codec issues. You know, that's gotta be it. Supporter from Russia here. My name is Anna Karenina. I read a book about you. Okay, so I think we might have reached the limit. Yeah, Firefox.tcz to onboot.list. I think that the real issue here is codecs, and I'm not sure what to make of it. Yeah, I blame the codec too. Yeah. Okay. So H26, maybe we can try it. How'd I do that before? Does it remember? I don't think it's persistent. How did we install codecs before? I don't remember. TCE, was it update or load? And I remember WI. Yeah, TCE load, WI, and then I don't remember the update. I can Google it. Or something at least. It's gonna Google. Oh wait, no, it told me. Wait a minute. I'm not reading. The Gimpuno H264 plugin crashed. Okay, TCE load. I'm getting folks in the chat wanting to help me. Thank you. GST libav. Thank you. Okay, I can see it's adding GStreamer. I don't know if GStreamer is helpful here, but that's interesting. It's downloading a few more codecs. This is kind of hilarious. Like here, while it's doing all this, let me just... let's get some perspective. Because, like, we need perspective. Okay, so there's this is the source. All right, so now inside here, if I'm smart about it. Oh, I'm trying to get the mouse to play nice. There we go. Okay, I can see the mouse. And now If I go tap up somewhere, I should be able to show the nesting. But I think the mouse is not being very cooperative inside this VM. I might need to shut it down to just show it. Okay. Well, it looks like it installed. So we're still in the machine, in the machine, in the machine. Okay. All right. Now we installed the thing. Let's see if it plays this video. It's crashing the thing. Okay, let's just try YouTube one more time. Just in the hopes that it works. Don't know if it's gonna. Probably won't. Nope. Yeah, I was gonna say, I wouldn't be surprised if the stream is just stuff that TinyCore doesn't have right now. Could I SSH/VNC from one VM into another? But then it's not really the same thing. That's my whole thing. Is like, yeah, I could probably tell another computer to do it. But that's less impressive to me. So, okay. Well, I think we've reached our crazy. Yeah, regular video on video, maybe live stream is using a different encoding. I think I'm gonna call it on this one. So, all right. So this was fun. This was zany. This was crazy. Really appreciate you all being here for this. This was just very silly. I should do something absurd right at the end. What shouldn't I? Should we RM, RF. Nope, it's going to yell at me. Do I need a sudo in here? I didn't know I needed a sudo in here. Nope. Okay. Oh, I bet I have to. Do I need to do the force thing? I don't actually do this. Yeah, no root preserve. Thank you. Oh, there's no sudo anymore. Okay. RM not found. All right. Can I shut down? I bet I've got to go user bin RM. Nope. This is absurd. Okay. That was so much fun. All right. So this has been Inception with Veronica. And I appreciate you all being here with me for the ridiculousness. I might try to do another stream like this coming up and try StreamYard, just because it'd be nice to be able to call out comments so that way the Q&A is a little bit more interactive and all that. So I very much appreciate you all being here for this. Look out for so we have an RSS feed at the stopbits.net. So if you want to go check out the band's website and see what we're up to, you'll find out when the EP drops that way, but I'm sure I'll talk about it on social networks. And I'll also probably do a YouTube post about it. Next video is probably going to be about the duper, if I'm able to get the duper working. I just want to talk about it, and it's an excuse to talk about the EP. So that'll be there for fun. And if you're in the Chicago area, we'll be at VCF Midwest. I think it's September 12th. Let me look at the calendar here. It's a literal calendar here. Yeah, I think we're playing on the 13th. So the 13th is a Saturday, and I think Saturday at like 9 or 10 p.m. it's after everything is shut down. So I'll be talking about that, and you'll have a chance to find out more there. Very much appreciate you all for being here. Thank you for a fun chat. Good way to spend an afternoon. I'm gonna go grab something to eat and probably try to get some housework done here. So thank you so much. Appreciate you all so much. And as always, Linux is awesome. So are you. Have a great day. Bye, everybody. I have to end stream. Where's the end stream button? Like, I think it's up here.